Calm down. Calm down, everyone. Calm down. Yes. No, we had a great win today. The Bills really needed it. It was tough right in the beginning there, and we thought it was going to be neck and neck. Josh Allen and his team just really pulled through. We really needed that win. It was great to see that happen.
Other show, Phil.
Oh. Got my single wound shirt. We're good. We're great. This is Bandecdotes, not Fanecdotes.
Oh.
Sorry, I have a different podcast called Fanecdotes where we it's a whole fantasy league podcast.
Yeah, it's behind a deep paywall. Very hard to find.
Yeah, that's actually how
it's on the dark web.
It's on the dark web, and it's how I make my money. That's how we make this podcast. That's how we fund this podcast, actually.
That's how we afford the studio you're recording.
Yeah, the fancy studios. I used to have a backdrop. I still do have the backdrop, but...
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's not like...
Not today, folks.
No, not today. I'm in between things right now, and no backdrop. How are you doing, bud? What is that?
Good. I'm going.
No, what are you drinking?
Deep on this. Yeah, it's some sort of like mystery Fanta flavor.
What? Fanta flavor mystery? I'm already sold. I can't wait to grab a bottle the next time I'm at an Avondale, which is fairly often.
Yeah, this episode of Bandecdotes, whatever we're recording for, is not sponsored by Fanta, unless they want to pay us.
Yeah.
In which case, I love Fanta.
Whoop whoop. Wait, no, that's what's the Insane Clown Posse?
Oh, I made myself red by scrolling up.
Fresco?
No, Fresco. Oh my god, like the posh juggalo spraying Fresco. It's a Fago.
Posh Spice Juggalo.
Oh my god, Fago is what you're thinking.
Oh, Fago, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not Fanta or Fresco.
Fresco. Why is it so funny?
I don't know, because it seems like probably the furthest. Now that I think of it,
I'm trying to picture like a rich juggalo who sprays people with like Pellegrino. What is up, Bandic folks? Today we are checking out the Legends, brought up probably every other video on this channel, Sum 41's newest video for Landmines. I didn't even realize they had a last album coming out, to be honest with you, so I'm actually pretty stoked on this.
Yeah, the band has announced that they are going to break up after this record. They're doing a bunch of touring after this. This is like one last cycle run. And, I mean, I get it. Like, being a band, it's tough. Being on the road is tough. It's not, certainly, like, the road life is tough, especially for people who are a lot older than you and I and who have families. And like, I get being away from your kids and whatnot. So they're hanging up their hats. Maybe not every member is calling it a day, but I think as a collective, Sum 41 is done. Their drummer, Steve-O, has declined doing any sort of reunions for the last tour, which is he's just now a real estate agent in California, doing his own thing. I take that as you are, or as it is. I don't, you guys probably making lots more money.
Weren't you the guy in Sum 41? Shut up! I don't talk about that.
God, is that the only thing people talk to me about? Like, I'm a real estate agent.
I have other skills.
Wasn't a big fan of the last Sum 41 record. But, I mean, Sum 41 has had such a wild career, from, like, sort of like a thrash metal sound on Does This Look Infected? And then they kind of, like, pulled it back a bit on Chuck. Or they kind of, no, I think they kind of stayed in that middle ground there for Chuck. And then I forget the record after that, but they kind of moved forward in like a more emo.
Well, you know the history of Does It Look Infected, right? I have a whole theory since you told me. The Guitars of No Warning being heavily heavily involved in the writing process of Does This Look Infected?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like common knowledge or something, or public knowledge, but like, yeah, the guitarist of No Warning wrote a lot of that Does This Look Infected record because they were just coming off of All Killer No Filler. They had just blown up. That was the record that blew the band up, and the company needed another record out, so they hired somebody to help write that record, and it was No Warning. And if you don't believe me, listen to the record Still Searching, and
listen to Better Off Dead. Listen to the song Better Off Dead and tell me that's not a No Warning song.
And you'll notice the parallels.
Well, that's I think why you notice somewhat of a stark contrast in the writing difference on Chuck and Does This Look Infected, because like Chuck always felt like Sum 41 trying to be more of like a moshy band, and I never actually realized how thrashy and sort of punky the guitar was on Does This Look Infected when we were kids, because I was just really paying attention to the vocals more than anything, which really helped soften how like very No Warning-y a lot of the guitar is on there. So
yeah, I know Derek does a really good job at really like, it's a very vocal driven record. There's lots of great hits off that song or record.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, like, I used to wake up to that record.
Their best record in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree. I mean, but Sum 41 had like a crazy run. I mean, from a lot of people don't like the record after Chuck, and I think it's because they were really changing their sound. But if you actually look at the band from like Half Hour of Power, All Killer No Filler, Does This Look Infected, Chuck, these are really good records.
That's a crazy run.
That's a crazy run. So I mean, kudos to the band. So I mean, and like, I do like the following, like, I think Screaming Bloody Murder, I believe it is, and then there's another one and they're not bad records. They're their own kind of thing. They're not maybe my favorite Sum 41 records, but they're not bad records. So again, not a big fan of the last record that they put out, but I'm excited to hear that they've got a new single out. And I think in an age where I think I cringe at the term elder emo, but it is a self-awareness that is happening amongst the people who were into that music 20 years ago. It's kind of like the hair metal is being recognized as like, I always compare hair metal to emo. Like, this is your parents liked hair metal. Your parents probably like emo now. Like, that's the generational gap. Like,
they have their Bon Jovi, we have Bayside.
And exactly. And I mean, there's a really funny self-aware Good Charlotte song that they put out in a record a couple of years ago. And I think everybody's it's kind of like a joke that we're all in on. Like, why were these guys so sad? And why was it so like just like people loved it, everybody drank it up. Anyway, so yeah, let's go into this. This is their song Landmines.
Yeah, very I bet it's probably a military song, I'm assuming. I don't know why I said that's not funny. It's not going in. This song's called Landmines, Phil. That's the second take because I just did a really bad joke.
And I don't want to believe that maybe this is the end. I know you're kind of a tease, but is this really pretend? Something tells me I'm wrong. With you I never can tell. The way you drag me along, the way I put you through hell. Well, tell me, am I insane? Is this where we belong? Is it pleasure or pain that we're still hanging on? Going out of my head. You know true love is dead, but what you said has got me hanging on. I can't help but walk through your landmines. 10 feet and I'm going out of my mind. I'm not right without you. Is that so wrong? I can't help but walk through your landmines. I'm bleeding and all I need is a sign. I'm out here and I've been waiting so long.
Yeah, this is playing right into what I was saying. It's very self-aware. These are all older dudes doing a bunch of young kid stuff, which reminds me a lot of that Good Charlotte video of like the old people doing, like, it was Girls Don't Like Boys, or Girls and Boys, where it was just a bunch of old people dressed as them, kind of like doing this. This is reminding me of that video, except they're being themselves. I also, sorry, we were talked a lot about Sum 41, and I'd be remiss to not mention that the fact that their one member, Dave, left after Chuck, and they got the one member from Gob, and since Dave has joined, I think 5, maybe 8 years ago now. I want to say it was like yesterday, but time moves.
It was a big deal when it happened.
So like we have a full lineup of like both Dave and I can't remember his other name,
Homie from Gob.
So we got a full lineup, and I forgot to mention that, and that was like really when band started, like the band started getting shifty right after Chuck. Anyway, I wanted to mention that. I'm already loving this tune. This tune is very, it's got that energy. It's got that same energy that like, that those records that, all Killer No Filler had. Like it still had that, like, it could belong on a record like that. It doesn't sound like it's aged. It doesn't sound like the sound has aged. I felt like it did on the last record, but this single is giving me like old Sum 41 vibes, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. I actually have a slightly mixed opinion. I was a little worried when we first came in. I was scared it was going to be more corny than it is. It's not. The hook is really good. They sound genuinely youthful, which is really interesting. Like if you were playing this song to me with absolutely no video, and you just told me this was like a punk band or a pop punk band that just came out right now, I'd believe you. Like they don't sound old, but that's sort of my only, I've never done this on a reaction before. My only like critique is like, it sounds like a pop punk song more than it sounds like a Sum 41 song.
Sure.
To me, like it sounds like I don't know. For me so far, I just haven't heard like that like recognizability that just something about it hits. I don't know whether his voice is being produced in a different way now or something, or maybe his vocal tone has just been copied so much that it's just the nature of it now. But yeah, I am finding the only thing is that I'm having a little problem latching onto the identity itself of the band. But it's a good song. It is a good song.
Yeah, I can get down with that. I mean, well, it reminds me, like I said, old. Like I'm thinking of like Motivation, kind of like that era of like like that was still very pop punk before they really injected that metal.
I guess I think about songs like Hell Song a lot and like Over My Head, Still Waiting, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's a good song. It's a good song, folks. I'm not saying it's a bad song, but yeah. And you know what? There's still plenty of time for them to give it that, that signature spice. Yeah. Whatever that means. Because I don't know what that is either, necessarily. I don't know what it means. I don't know what I mean.
I know what you mean. It typically means a ripping solo from Dave.
Oh, maybe that's what I haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
Why we broke up, it was the best that I had. They say it's all for the best. I think the fate is a lie. And now my hair is a mess, and you're a little bit high. Should I give it a chance? Is it ever enough? No more blood on the hands, no more fucking it up. Going out of my head, all the tears that I bled, and what you said has got me hanging on. I can't help but walk through your landmines, 10 feet, and I'm going out of my mind. I'm not right without you. Is that so?
Phill, I don't know what's happening to me. I'm dying.
I'll tell you what.
Choking on my mouth.
Yeah, I mean it's that good. It's that good. No, I like. We'll do a pause break. I like that they're playing Prom of '98. I want to know. Maybe we can dig up in the edit. Did they play their prom in '98? Because I mean, they're from Ajax, which is not very far from where we record here in Southern Ontario.
In our studio,
in our fancy studio, and so I'm curious if they made enough of a wave for themselves, or sorry, if they made a much like I don't know what I'm saying here. If they made enough of like stink when they were making Coming Up, like that they actually got to play that their prom.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the representation of them being younger as well. It's a neat video. Yeah.
I'm out here and I've been waiting so long. You've got me hanging on. You've got me hanging on. All I need to know is should I stay or is it time for me to go? I don't wanna waste another minute, no. The story's getting old. All I wanna know is whether I should stay or is it time for me to go? I can't help but walk through your landmines, 10 feet and I'm going out of my mind. I'm not right without you, is that so wrong? I can't help but walk through your landmines. I'm bleeding and all I need is a sign. I'm out here and I've been waiting so long. You've got me hanging on. You've got me hanging.
Well, that was one of the songs of all time, Phil.
No ripping solos. Although Derek Whibley has the power to stop time and fuck with people like he's in the movie Time Stoppers or something.
It's like some Zach Morris shit or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Zach Morris stopped. Yeah. I mean, all those cats. Who else? Who can stop time? Doctor Strange. I think he can do that.
I'm sure you can do that.
But yeah, no, Derek Whibley. Add that name to that list too, because
Of Time Stoppers.
Stoppers. Yeah. No, I mean, Pump. I could have used a solo from Dave. That's what I'm. I think I agree with your critique earlier. It is
I
very.
could have used a better song, Phil. I can't. I knew this is totally unplanned, and I don't know how we're gonna navigate this. But yeah, I didn't like that, man.
I'm not saying it's a bad song, but yeah.
No,
Straight up.
no,
It just sounds like a generic pop punk song to me. Derek doesn't sound like himself at all.
no,
Not at all. He sounds totally different. And it's not, if there's something wrong with his voice, then it's not his fault. I think after seeing the sort of like incredible Blink-182 comeback, that just feels like super overwhelming. And I've been giving Sum 41 a lot of credit lately. I keep saying they're better than Blink, and in terms of who came through with the better swan song sort of, and to be fair, it's not like they were going for the same vibe on this track at all as the one we just watched, but yeah, man, I don't know. That doesn't feel like a Sum 41 song at all to me. It felt like once those like produced almost trap drums came in, dude, my heart sank. I was like, oh, this isn't going anywhere interesting. This is it. We're just doing this, and then we're gonna do that whoa Imagine Dragons chorus. Like, damn, man. Fuck, this has never happened on this channel where I'm just like sitting here being like, what do I do? I gotta be honest.
You gotta be genuine reactions.
Damn.
I will say that what do they call that? I think they call that the millennial call. Like there's
the whoa.
It goes whoa. Like there are like literally like hundreds of examples of songs within the last 15 years that do that, and it's they typically are beloved among millennials. So I forget at one point I think it's actually called the millennial call. Anyway, they did it. They did in this song, and I don't know. I'm gonna say I enjoyed it. I thought it was.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
I enjoyed it. But I think it's interesting that you didn't, and I think that keeps us honest here on the channel. I think that's how it's gonna be. I think that's how we'll wrap that thing up. I don't think much needs to be said. You liked or didn't like it. I liked it. We'll call it a day.
Yeah, I'll keep an open mind on the album. Yeah, that just sort of felt like a midlife crisis to me that I had to sit through. So, I don't know. Shout out to them to come on the show, boys.
that was our reaction to Sum 41. What did you think? Leave it all down below in the comments. Is Tyler right? Is Phill right? Let us know. And if you aren't already, make sure that you're following us on Instagram. That's just at Bandecdotes. That's where we do all our updates and clips. And if you aren't already, subscribe to the channel.
Yeah. If you're a Sum 41 fan, subscribe to this channel. I want you around. I want to talk to you. Keep it real.
Take it easy.